Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about Chancenkarte or chance card in Germany. Can you actually move to Germany without a job offer? To immigrate to Germany without a job offer? For some qualified people, the opportunity card actually makes that possible. But, and this is a big but, it's not a free ticket. It's not a guaranteed visa or a guaranteed job. And in this video, I will explain to you the route from the beginning, calculate the points and money, and help you decide whether using it is actually sensible. So, what we are going to cover today is answering these questions. What does the card actually give you? Do you qualify through recognition or point system? Because there are two different pathways. How much money must you prove based on the numbers in 2026? What work can you actually do while searching for a job in Germany? Does your profession, German level, or experience give you a realistic chance in Germany? And finally, how do you actually apply? And what alternatives should you compare? And probably also, how can we help you at MoWay before you risk your savings? And that's quite important. So, first of all, what does the opportunity card actually give you? So the opportunity card is a German residence title that can let an eligible person enter Germany and search for qualified work or complete a recognition measure. So it's basically a way that you can enter Germany, but it's not a way that can guarantee you a job offer. So there are two different pathways to get there, but the card can actually last up to 12 months depending on the period you can finance. It also allows limited work while you search, but no employer is assigned to you, so the visa is not guaranteed, so you can actually get rejected, and finding an offer doesn't automatically give you the next residence permit because you need to qualify for certain requirements for minimum salary, specifically if you want to apply for Blue Card afterwards. And Blue Card is basically the skilled worker visa. So before you do anything, you just need to ask yourself, is the opportunity card or chance card or Chancenkarte even your correct route? So before counting points, confirm that this is the correct way. If you already have a suitable job offer, if you have a job offer from Germany, so I think it's much better if you go directly to have a work visa. Or if you qualify for Blue Card, which is skilled worker visa, you can also apply for that. But on the other hand, if your goal is vocational training, which is Ausbildung, or university, so those are different routes. So if you guarantee something, for example, a job offer or a university place or an Ausbildung offer, and you don't know which way you can go for, we offer consultation here at MoWay, which can help you a lot in that regard, because the job market in Germany is not stable at the moment. So come and let's talk, and we can have a discussion together. If you graduated from a German university or qualifying German training, I think you should check the separate graduate search permit. So the opportunity card mainly matters when you are qualified, but don't yet have a suitable offer. But if you have a suitable offer, it doesn't really apply to you. And here we're talking about two different routes to get this opportunity card. So there is point system, and there is also recognition or comparable. So route 1 is for a German qualification or a foreign qualification that is fully recognized or comparable in Germany, which means you have a university degree, for example, and your degree is 100% recognized in Germany, and then you can simply be recognized, and then they can compare your degree to a German degree, and then you can start your life in Germany. So as soon as you get a job opportunity, you can start right away. And to do that, there is a website called Anabin, and with this website you can actually check your qualifications and if your university is recognized or not. So there are different systems like H plus, H minus, H plus or minus. You need to check that, but it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And even if your degree is not recognized, you can contact them and you can show them the content of your study, and then maybe they can actually compare your study to the study in Germany, and you can get recognized as well. So if this is the case, you don't need to use the point system or the point test. And this card itself doesn't require also a language certificate, right? So you don't need German in that regard. You don't need high German skill. But on the other, it doesn't mean I recommend doing that. I will tell you my recommendation in the end anyway. Route 2 is for an eligible foreign award, but then it requires the qualification evidence. So you have qualification from your country. Maybe it's not recognized in Germany, but you still have qualifications. And then you need to have German. Sorry, I just have a problem which like causes this situation, but inshallah it's gonna get away soon. But anyway, you should have German A1, which is basics anyway, or English B2. But more important, you should have enough money and at least 6 points. So you need to collect 6 points, but it's pretty easy. I will explain to you now how to collect the points in that case. But then again, that doesn't mean if you go to Germany, you can easily find a job. And let me tell you, for now, if you have German A1 and you come to Germany on opportunity card, and you don't have like B2 English is pretty low as well. Like you should at least have C1 English. And then for German, if you have A1, your opportunity to get a job is quite low, specifically nowadays. Even in tech jobs, like without extensive experience, it's very, very low. With extensive experience, it's not impossible, but it's difficult. So we always recommend that you have enough German skills before traveling to Germany, unless you come to Germany with a contract before leaving your country. Then in that case, you don't need German, at least for that job. But if you get laid off, for example, then it's problematic, and you will need to learn German afterwards. So this is basically like the first way, but then also for the second way, for the second point system, you like what must Route 2 prove before points are counted. That's very important. You should have eligible qualification, and this is basically university or a 2-year vocational training. You need to have the document. So you need to have, first of all, an eligible state recognized university award, or normally a vocational qualification based on at least 2 full years of training. As I said, you need German A1 or English B2, but we recommend having at least English C1 and German B2, or even more. The more the better, unless you have a contract with you. And of course, more important is to have sufficient money for the period requested, and I will tell you exactly how much money you will need now. Only then you will start calculating the 6-point system. But without that, you are not qualified at all. So 6 points, for example, cannot repair a missing qualification or language certificate or funding proof. So how do you prove your qualification? In that case, in the second pathway, and to be honest, most of the people listening to me now, they are qualified for the first route. So they don't need the second route, but just in case. And I also leave you the official links and official websites where you can actually check yourself for information. So for a university degree, check both that the institution and the degree in Germany's ANABEN, as I was just saying, database. And then if either result is missing or unclear, you may need a paid statement of comparability from the Central Office of Foreign Education, known as ZAB. And like the website is already there in the PDF. For vocational awards, ZAB issues the statement on a foreign vocational qualification. So if you got that abroad from Germany, and that's called DAB in German, or whatever you pronounce it in German. And if your profession is regulated, you still need the separate professional recognition or license. So this applies mainly to people that did not enter the university. So they have got, I don't know the name in Arabic, but it's mainly vocational training. So maybe تعليم مهني or something like that, right? And then you get it for 2 years, and then after that, after these 2 years, you start working in the you start get recognized, but you need to have a proof of your professional recognition or license afterwards. And then an academic comparison alone is not permission to practice for sure, because in the end you need to have a proof. That's why it's very difficult for people. Like, for example, we get this question a lot: can I just get a contract and start working in Germany without a university qualification? Maybe if I am, if I am a professional worker, but not with a university qualification, but maybe you work in construction, you work in nursing industry, you work in in different professions, technician, for example, IT, and all that stuff. And you don't want to spend 2 or 3 years doing Ausbildung in Germany, and you're just wondering, why don't I just get a contract? The problem is with qualifications and recognitions, and it's always difficult because, unfortunately, in our countries specifically, it's really difficult to have that compared to the qualifications in Germany, and a lot of them are not documented as well, unless you get this way, or you get these qualifications from a school, a recognized school as well. So it's more difficult to get a contract. In comparison, you get that directly after Ausbildung. And also, you usually need to have interviews, in-person interviews, and you cannot do that from abroad unless you have a median or a company like us, which can actually help you with that in that regard. But we always recommend to start at least getting Ausbildung, a contract, and then afterwards it's going to be easy to start your job within Germany, much easier. Now we turn to the point about how are the qualification and experience points actually calculated, and then you can actually look at the chart and you can see that partial German recognition gives you 4 points. That's it. So if you pass just the recognition of your license or professional license, you just get the 4 points that you need. A qualification in an official shortage occupation gives 1, and this is basically a list that you can find in the official sources. Relevant work experience after graduation gives 2 points if you have at least 2 years within the last 5, or 3 points if you have at least 5 years within the last 7 years. But then you need to get this documented, and you need to get this not only documented, but this needs to be stamped and probably also translated either to English or German in that situation. And the experience must be also related to the formal qualification that you've got and that you want to practice in Germany. Overall, I don't really recommend, I'm not going to explain a lot about the point system, but I don't really recommend doing the point system if you can. If you have to, of course, you have to do that, but I don't think you have to do anyway. But one of the parts that's very important as well is age, because there have been a lot of questions also coming to me about age. Maybe people are above 35 and they're asking about their opportunities. If you're asking about your opportunities with point system, that's unfortunately a little bit difficult, because the older you are, the less opportunities you have, the less points you also get. And that makes it difficult for you for the point system. But if you are highly skilled and you also have funding, then it's much easier with the Chancenkarte after that, right? And again, as I said, it depends on your level of language. The more German language you have, the more points you get, and it's just pretty easy. All right. So these are just examples. And then you can actually see, for example, take an example of 20-year-old electrical engineer. So he is an electrical engineer, or she is an electrical engineer. So with qualification that is recognized in Germany. And then age gives 2 points because you are under 35. If you have German B1, you get 2 points. If you have German A1, you get 1 point. Let's say you have 2 relevant years of experience. Relevant means in electrical engineering in the last 5 years. So you don't have a gap in your CV for 5 years. And then in that case, you also get 2 points. And then, of course, from the official list, you can look at the official list. You can see if this is a shortage field or not. And if it's a shortage field, then it's 1 point. And then you are basically qualified. So the qualification must still be eligible, right? And you should see if the university that you got your certificate from in the list or not. Is English enough? So what language does the visa actually require, and what does the job require? There are two different things. So the legal entry point and the labor market level are quite different. So for Route 2, again, for the point system, it accepts German A1, which is the basics, or English B2 as its language gate. Route 1 does not require a certificate at all, specifically for the card. But, this is big but, employers again decide whether you can do the job. And the Federal Employment Agency says German improves your prospects and English alone is generally insufficient. But again, as I said, it depends on the job that you want to have here in Germany. And I think I already did that. And most important part is money for Chancenkarte, specifically Route 1 and even Route 2. How much money must you prove in 2026? You need to have at least 1,091 euros net per month, which is around 13,000 euros. And this is blocked account that you need to have. And that annual figure is simply, 1,091 multiplied by 12. So it's evidence that you can actually support yourself while being in Germany. But it doesn't mean, and this is super important, does not mean you will only need that number. Because probably living in a city like Berlin, for example, this does not cover even the rent for a single room apartment, for instance. So you will probably need more money, right? Unfortunately, you will probably need more money even for the rent only. So my suggestion always is to plan very well before coming. Again, I will say my suggestion at the end of the video. How can you actually prove the monthly amount? So there are 3 main ways to show the money. A blocked account, this is first. Second, a declaration of commitment, and this is a person in Germany that can say that I will support this specific person for his or her stay in Germany. Third, you can also prove with eligible part-time net income, which may cover the amount of money that, like, any remaining gap. So you would say that, okay, I only have 6,000 euros, but I have this contract that I'm coming to work, or maybe even working online in my country, whatever, and I have this income which is covering me while being in Germany. That's already okay as well. But then it's in the end, the German mission part in the city that you're moving to decides which documents as it accepts. So follow its exact checklist, and you can see that on the website. How long can you stay? You can stay up to 12 months, but of course shorter if funding covers less. You are only eligible for part-time jobs up to 20 hours per week. And you can have something called trial work, which is up to 2 weeks per employer for an eligible person. And a trial can last, as I said, up to 2 weeks per employer and must relate to the qualified job. Training or recognition. Regression. It's in machine learning. My head is just stuck in the lecture that I've just finished. Qualified work, training, or recognition. As I was saying, as electrical engineer, you're supposed to work as electrical engineer, and so on. How do you apply from Egypt? or any other country. So I would say start with the official self-check and identify the route, then prepare your qualification, language, point system if you have, financial evidence, because since January 2025, every German visa section has been connected to the consular services portal. So you need to begin that directly to the opportunity card application there. After that, you should follow the embassy or consulate responsible for where you legally live, maybe in Cairo or in another country, wherever you live. And it may still require an appointment that you should go to and to submit original documents. You do biometrics, probably it's required anyway in Egypt. So you don't trust one universal processing time, because this is basically dependent on the location, and unfortunately nowadays it's catastrophic. So the appointment system is really bad, to be honest. So does Germany have jobs for everyone? So if you have 6 points and you come to Germany, will you have a job? Are you likely having a job? On paper, theoretically, yes. But unfortunately, the situation is much worse in reality. So in reality, most of the people that come here with opportunity card that are not prepared, they don't get a job. And unfortunately, they finish their time. They finish the 12 months or even earlier without a job. And that comes to the end. Maybe I don't know if I have time now, but I can actually start saying our recommendation. But let's tell you first how can we help you, and then I can tell you specifically my recommendation. So Moway is a German company, so we are registered in Germany, and we help professionals or people from the Middle East, not only the Middle East, by the way, but anybody who speaks Arabic, to come to Germany, not only Germany, but to study and work abroad. So this means going to the Gulf area, going to Germany, going to the UK, going to the US, Australia, or any other country. So if you're planning to immigrate, we are here to help you. It's extremely important to understand whether first you're qualified or traveling is suitable for you at the moment or not, because most of the cases, unfortunately, they are not ready yet, and they end up spending a lot of money, and I'm talking in seriously, they spend maybe most of their savings to chase a dream that doesn't exist, or to go for a dream that is unfortunately untrue or not true, and that's something that hurts me a lot, that there is a lot of misinformation out there about traveling specifically to Germany. So Germany has been marketed in our region as the heaven, like the free heaven, that you just go for free, you study for free, you do everything for free. But unfortunately, this is not true, not fully true. So my recommendation, first, how can we help you? So we can help you test if the route is suitable for you or not. So we do have something called strategic success consultation. So we examine your profile, and we see if your expertise, your qualifications, in comparison to the job market, very important, can actually get you a job or not. And how much time will you need to spend in Germany until you get a job? And are you prepared for that or not? And you need to be optimistic for sure, but you need to calculate everything correctly. And if you don't have that in mind, it's really difficult. So we help you organize the qualification steps, define realistic rules, and of course improve your CV and applications, and prepare for interviews, and build a budget and visa sequence and so on. We also help you with qualifications, with a strong decision making, because I believe, and we believe here at Moway, that the wrong decision does not only cost you money, but also costs you a lot of time. Yeah, but basically this is what we do. My recommendation, this is something that I finish. If you're interested to book a consultation, you can go to our website. So if you click here, you will basically open, this is our consultation. It's for 150 euros but these are like, it's for 90 minutes. You get all the information you need, not only information, but you also get clear pathway. And this is saving, we just discussed 13,000 euros a year for this specific pathway only. And if you want to study there, you will also spend a lot of money. So we help you save a lot of money, really, because maybe you are not ready yet and you don't know about it because you just want to travel somewhere. So we help you with that. And then also very important is if you continue working with us after the consultation, you get like this as a free consultation, a free starting point. So we deduct the amount of the consultation, the fees of the consultation, from any fees that you pay us later on. Okay, so it becomes a free service anyway afterwards. So this is what we can help you. My recommendation in the end, final recommendation, if you don't have a job offer, if you don't have a clear pathway, if you don't have your budget, and not only your budget, but if you don't have the luxury to sacrifice 13,000 euros, don't get Chancenkarte. Don't get the opportunity card. And this is my recommendation. Only get the opportunity card if you have a job offer, if you have a clear plan, if you have a qualification, and if you know the market. And we here at Norway can help you do that. Okay? Because again, traveling is not success. So we have a different definition of success here. So it's not only about traveling somewhere, it's about being stable at this country. It's about building your family in this specific country. If you are interested to make a family here, or if you're not interested, to be stabilized, to get a secure job, and to understand also the country that you're traveling to. That's it. I hope this video is helpful, and as always, if you're interested, you can leave us comments, and we are always here to help you. You can also search for in our website about different services. So we have IELTS courses which help you in English language certificate. So we have a lot of different modules and a lot of options with courses starting from 100 euros, which is almost like 5,500 EGP, Egyptian pounds, for example. We also help you with academic research and writing, because we believe that unfortunately most of the students coming from the MENA region suffer a lot in that way, and here in Norway we help you in that direction, because we believe in research and the ability to write very good research, and this is extremely important if you're a professional. If you're a new student at a foreign university, this is very helpful. We also help you secure your place at top tier universities, and these are part of the universities that we helped our students to get into. So we're very proud that we help people to get into Cambridge, MIT, Tsinghua, Technical University of Berlin, Toronto Metropolitan University, which was Ryerson University before, Polymi in Italy, Technical University of Munich, and a lot more. So if you want to be next, you know the way, and you can contact us, of course. And then career development. And career development here, it's extremely important in the era of AI. A lot of people want to build their career in the era of AI, but they don't really know how to do that. Maybe some people want to exchange their career or to explore different career pathways, but they don't know. So we help them in that regard with a lot of services, ranging from, CV, how to build your CV, but it's not only giving you a very good CV, but it's also teaching you how to do that, right? And a lot more. So LinkedIn profile, cover letter. So we aim for building your career in a specific country. And this is mainly for people who want to maybe earn more money, get a better job opportunity, explore business strategies afterwards, or to improve their quality of life in general. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.